Welcome to the Soul Archaeology podcast, a space for connection, resonance, witnessing, and learning. Together we'll harvest medicine from the spiral of life, sharing conversations with other embodied humans who have navigated their own initiations and found alignment with their true soul essence. With weekly astrology, energy updates, embodied conversation, and channeled teachings, this is a space for you to land and find resonance with the spiral of your own soul. Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome back to Soul Archaeology. How is everyone feeling post-Saturn stationing retrograde? Wow. What's so interesting about an outer planet stationing retrograde is that you can feel it building. So there's a shadow period, and as we move through the shadow and closer to the actual retrograde period, things start revealing themselves. Pressure begins to build, and it's really at that point of shifting, that moment when it shifts retrograde, it can feel like an old car or an old truck shifting gears. It can be a little jerky. So if you felt some intensity building up to Saturday, and then you felt like maybe a pressure release on Saturday, that makes a lot of sense. I talked a lot about Saturn retrograde in the last episode, so I'm not going to go into what it's teaching us, what it's showing, what it's revealing, where it's leading us, but just know that it's really dancing with some of the celestial events that we have this week. And it's a pretty big astrological week. We have a lot happening, a lot in water, a lot in cardinal signs, a lot of things shifting and activating for those of us with significant cardinal placements. It is, of course, Cancer season, the season of the mother, the season of the heart. The season is bookended by 2 full moons in Capricorn. And so we talked a little bit about this in the full moon in Capricorn episode, but this month is about maturation. This month is about evolution. It's about reclamation. And this week is really about dissolving illusion, dissolving escapism, dissolving the past so that we can be present with the coherence of our heart here and now. This is the week for heart medicine, as if it's not always the week for heart medicine. But there are a lot of significant happenings this week, particularly on July 2nd. There's so many things happening on July 2nd. I'm not going to list them all, but we have one of the bigger events this week, which is Neptune stationing retrograde in Pisces. On that same day, we have Mercury moving into Leo. We have the Sun square the North Node, which is putting pressure on this individuation and this movement that we're desiring, this initiation energy. We also have Venus trine Saturn. There's a lot of maturational energy this week. One of the biggest events is a new moon in Cancer on July 5th at 14 degrees Cancer. So there's a lot of heart-opening realizations, reckonings, new beginnings, clarity that's coming through this week, starting with Neptune's retrograde journey through Pisces. And this happens every year. We enter this retrograde period where a lot of the outer planets are retrograde together. Neptune spends 5 months each year retrograding. And Neptune is such an interesting planet. It's the planet of mysticism, intuition, imagination, romance, illusion. It represents the collective consciousness. And so much of the subconscious will be brought to the surface this week. And this is such an important part of the journey. What's hidden is journey into illusions. Neptune has been in Pisces since 2011. It will be moving out of Pisces and into Aries in 2025, along with other outer planets, which makes 2025 such a significant year of new beginnings, ruptures, massive shifts, especially with both Saturn and Neptune moving into Aries. And what's interesting about Neptune's journey through Pisces, it loves to be in Pisces, that's its home sign. And it's all about bringing forward what's unknown within our lives. The ways in which we operate unconsciously, but also what's beyond the veil, what's beyond our known 3D reality, what's beyond science. Neptune is spirituality. Pisces is transcendence. When these two pair together, it's the energy of a renaissance. It's the energy of breaking down what's known, what's been hidden, to reveal our yearning for the unknown, our yearning for something deeper, for something more expanded, for something larger than what's here right now on this physical plane. The shadow of this transit is escapism or illusion. Because the 3D physical plane is so dense, Pisces struggles sometimes to be deeply present with what's occurring, with the energetics. And so one of the shadow aspects of Pisces is escapism, dissociation. And this can happen in so many different ways. It's not just substances, it's social media, it's movies, it's TV, anything that brings us out of our bodies, out of the present moment. And as we know, when a planet stations retrograde, it begins to review, revisit, go back over things. It almost unzips what's beneath the surface so that we can see things more clearly. It's really an opportunity to cut through illusion. It's where we'll be met with reality. It's where we realize our escapisms, our coping mechanisms, which is the shadow of Pisces, like I said earlier. Over this transit, over the next 5 months, Neptune will be retrograde in Pisces until December 7th. Saturn will be retrograde through November 15th. So this is very much a time of reckoning. And similarly with Saturn, it's cutting through illusion. It's looking at where are we idealizing people or things. Our dreams will be heightened. It will ask us to go back through the past. Where have we self-abandoned? Where are we afraid to truly dive in, to be present with the physical feelings and emotions of this human experience? Where are we bypassing without even knowing it? So much of this human experience is, of course, experiencing joy and love, but also building resilience. And building resilience to know more, to feel more, to understand more, and still love. And I think we really do that through the nervous system, upgrading the nervous system and being present with what's here, pushing our walls of comfort and familiarity, honoring our capacity while holding more, while loving, even when so much fear is present. And this is really the medicine of now. The opposite of love is fear. Where are we allowing fear to run our lives without actually knowing it? I know I've talked to so many people recently, clients, friends, family, who are experiencing awakenings. And I don't mean like, a big spiritual awakening. I mean an awakening to what is, an awakening to reality. And this is so much of this sobering effect of retrogrades through Pisces. The light is turning on. We're realizing that the ways in which we maybe have been moving through life, the patterns we've fallen into, are ready to be dissolved. When we go through these awakening periods, these upgrades, which this week very much so is, we are asked to see more, to process what we're saying, what we're feeling within that realm, pushing past our previous walls of consciousness, to hold more, to process, and to understand what's occurring, and then to make a decision aligned with our heart. We go through these waves of expansion and contraction, of course, where we're elevating to a higher frequency and then having to contract a little bit to process, to integrate. So whether you're in a period of expansion or contraction, maybe you're in both, in different areas of your life, there's so much medicine here. I feel like during these upgrade phases, like we're in right now, there's a bit of a push and pull between fear and love. There's a battle occurring within us. Where are we choosing the past? Where are we choosing fear over love? Our hearts invite us deeper, and fear separates. As we continue to move through the summer, receiving downloads, insight, more clarity around where we are, where we want to be, where we're headed, and the decisions we need to make here and now to align more with our higher frequency, the frequency of the higher heart. These decisions are oftentimes scary. It's why when we meet a threshold, all of our fears come forward. Everything gets heightened. You might feel like you are in a healing crisis. You might feel like you are hella triggered, like everything is up. That's a growth moment. That's a growth edge, a growth spurt. I usually call it a soul growth spurt. And that's where this North Node in Aries is calling us into our warrior spirit, warriors of love, warriors of the heart, conscious warriors. And we need that courage to make these hard decisions. We need that courage to look into the truth of the situation with these retrograde periods. There's so much truth being revealed. That truth might be hard to swallow. Choose love. This is certainly a period of reckoning. This week we have a new moon in Cancer on July 5th at 3:58 p.m. at 14 degrees. What's unique about this new moon is that it's in the heart of the Sirius Gateway, which means that the sun, the moon, and Sirius, which is our spiritual sun, will all be conjunct at 14 degrees Cancer. This is a very, very significant opening, a very significant portal. New moons, of course, are new beginnings. It's where we begin a new lunar cycle. It's where we go into the dark void of the womb. Where the moon goes dark, we go inward and we begin to plant seeds of new life, new direction, new purpose. At this moment of darkness, we are illuminated by the sun and by the spiritual sun, Sirius. And Sirius is interesting. It's a star, but it shines 23 times brighter than our own sun. And it's labeled our spiritual sun because it really helps us to activate and shift us into higher levels of consciousness, spiritual awareness. Sirius is a star of higher intelligence. Each year when we enter the Sirius Gateway, we enter a time of upgrades, illumination. We're able to access data and wisdom of a higher intelligence. As the sun and moon pass through the gateway together, we're being asked to upgrade our inner and outer world. This is a time of awakening, realization, retrieval. As with all new moons, it's an opportunity to begin again, to be rebirthed, to start something new, to shift your perspective, to begin again. But especially with the assistance of Sirius with this new moon, so many new ideas, visions, new pathways and ways of seeing things might be flooding through. We're receiving assistance from a higher intelligence. We're receiving light. On the other side of this new moon, we will be reborn. We will be able to begin again, specifically relationships. Our relationship with ourself, our relationship with our own inner child. I talked in 2 episodes ago about how this month is so deeply focused on the relationship between our inner child and our inner adults, our father and mother. Cancer is the mother. And this month really presents an opportunity to rebirth the ways in which we show compassion and love for ourselves. Cancer is the mother. It's the heart. It brings forth heightened sensitivity, heightened emotions. The heart is open during Cancer season, which means it might be uncomfortable for those of us that are not used to feeling so much. I don't know about you, but that's not the case for me. But I know every Cancer season, I feel my heart opening. It just feels like an eternal journey of expansion and deepening at the same time. So there are major upgrades with this new moon. It will reveal to us the ways in which we separate from self, where we withhold love, where we withhold compassion, where we can deepen more into our relationship with self, as well as our relationship with others. Venus is interacting with this new moon as well, so relationships will be at the forefront of what we're processing and feeling. It's an opportunity to end something, to begin something new, to press the restart button, to deepen more into love, to really access what's hidden behind the veil. This is a heart cleansing week. It's a week for us to feel the wounds and the pains of the past, but to cleanse and purge our hearts so that we can access the higher intelligence of it. Our wounds really hold us in the past, and so often we might be operating from that space without knowing it. With this assistance of Neptune retrograde, Saturn retrograde through Pisces, it's going to reveal where we are stuck in our subconscious loops. That is not the heart. And I always ask people, are you in the wound or are you in the heart? The wound is a place, it's like a magnetic force that draws us into it. The heart is so much more powerful. We have to be able to discern what's the wound and what's the heart. And this time is really about purging the wounds of the past, forgiving, so that we can move into the higher frequency of the higher heart, so that we can truly feel love, real love. This time will burn through the ego. It will show us where we are operating out of fear. For our ego really seeks to keep us safe. It seeks to keep us surviving, but it also keeps us out of the heart. Themes around home will be surfacing this week, really throughout the month of July through Cancer season, and reorienting to what home means to us. Our heart is our home, our inner mother. So much remothering work will be happening this week and throughout Cancer season. Where do we need more nurturing, nourishment, self-love, self-support? Where can we repair the wounds of the past through our own love, bathing those spaces with our own love, our own self-compassion, our own acceptance? That's truly what we seek at the end of the day. Yes, we need connection with others, but at the end of the day, we can't fully connect in the way we want and need until we have established a deep, sustained connection with self. People cannot respect us if we can't respect ourselves. People can't truly love us if we can't love ourselves. This is where the remothering work comes in, when we connect to our inner mother, when we connect to the divine mother, we're able to connect to the longing we seek, which is belonging and love. This is a lot of the work that I do with clients. It's connecting with the divine mother. It's connecting with the mother within. It is repairing the places that are fragmented. It's that glue which allows us to move through the world in a completely different way. This is where we transform. And because we have so much happening in water signs this week with the Pisces and Cancer, emotions may be heightened. Let them be data. Let them guide us to where our wounds lie. Let it just be information. The shadow of Cancer is that it can let its emotions rule. Noticing where you are letting your emotions run your life, where you can develop and adopt healthy somatic practices to truly feel what you need to feel, to transmute and process what's coming to the surface. It can feel heavy and dense when it's running our lives. Let it be light. Let it turn to light. We upgrade to the higher heart through our emotional center. When we can honor and love what's there, we're able to evolve and grow through the higher heart. We're able to access a higher frequency. And that's really what this week is about. It's about noticing where we're escaping our big emotions, where we're escaping our reality, where we need to be more present with what is, and how we can love and remother those parts that are seeking repair. The card that I pulled today was so interesting while I was dropping in and sitting with what wanted to come through. The moon card flew out of the pile. And so it was very obvious this wanted to be channeled. And the moon card is all about devotion. Moon orbits the earth with devotional influence. Her phases symbolize immortality and eternality. She pulls and pushes with benevolent force, maintaining steadfast, universal alignment for all. Moon shapes tides and stones, blood and bone, while the luminosity she offers stabilizes planetary climates and imbues us with the wisdom of her ebb and flow. Like the goddess herself, she is ardent and tender, a perfect reflection of light and a natural amplifier of dark. Moon summons your devotion. Your orbit is profound and necessary. Your intrinsic merit nourishes the lives of many, even if you don't realize it. Moon asks you to take stock of where you are placing your loyalty. Is your devotional energy aligned with your values and desires? If so, Moon invites you to deepen into your commitment with the conviction that the returns will be great. If not, Moon asks you to reorient your gravitational pull to align with more fruitful uses of your devotion. When it's balanced, you feel nourished by your efforts, skillful loyalty. When it's imbalanced, you're putting precious energy into a void, loyalty without reciprocity. To bring into balance, notice where you feel depleted in life and shift priorities. This feels very aligned. For me, at least. I'm thinking maybe for many of you as well. And it's a reckoning period. And I think it really aligns with what we were speaking to as far as the reckoning that these retrogrades provide. This lifting of the veil, this opportunity to seek what is and isn't working. This opportunity to purify our wounds through our heart. And it's really a time to find out and take inventory of what within our life feels out of alignment, where we can invite in more joy and more love. As always, take what resonates, leave what does not, release it. These episodes are channeled for the Soul Archaeology Collective, the community, for everyone that's tuning in. If you're listening now, if you're listening 2 years from now, there's something here for you. Thank you so, so much for being here. I love all of you. I am eternally grateful for your presence, for your support. This is such a a powerful summer. And I feel like as we continue to move through this time, we'll receive more and more wisdom around where we're headed and what we're here for, what our purpose is. Thank you as always for your devotion, your support. It means the world. If you feel called, please rate, review, share this on Instagram, share how it impacted you, what you received from it. It really, really helps me and it means the world. Share with a friend, a family member, someone who might need to hear some of what came through today. I will be hosting a full moon workshop again on July 21st for the full moon in Capricorn. I don't have the page up yet, but I'll be putting it up shortly and I will announce that on Instagram and also through email. But I'm excited to dive deep again with all of you. If you'd like, you can still buy the replay of the solstice and full moon in Capricorn workshop that holds a lot of wisdom pertaining to the month of July, pertaining to this Cancer season. I find it deeply fascinating that we began Cancer season at the summer solstice and that we have our new moon in Cancer on right within the Galactic Center. This is light medicine. It's luminosity, heart coherence. I hope you all feel it this week. May your hearts be full with love, compassion, beauty, and grace. Have a beautiful week, and I'll speak to you soon.